Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Football Talk TV. So we're going to fly straight into the news. We'll look at there's three or four kind of hot topics at the minute where Manchester United are potentially looking at new transfers, and I'll start with AC Milan are apparently considering a look for Marcus Rashford. What do we all think about that? Do we think that's something that could potentially happen? I think this is more of a loan initially, and maybe I mean that's all is kind of stated at the minute. But we'll kind of look at the other stories as well. Apparently Victor Osimen's story isn't going away. Apparently it's in the business news in Nigeria that he is looking to come to Manchester United. So that's an interesting one. So we'll see how that goes. There's another one about a midfielder that United are looking at from Stuttgart, a guy called Enzo Millot. Millot. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his name. Apologies for that one. But yeah, he's looks like he plays the number 8. Looks like he gets forward and back for Stuttgart. And we'll have a quick look at his stats and kind of maybe where he falls into the whole reckoning of things. And then finally, apparently Juventus are looking at a move for Tyrell Malacia, which would be interesting for Juventus because I believe they are on the lookout for a left back. I think Malacia is a good player, but I'm not entirely sure whether he's going to make it at Manchester United. But okay, guys, we'll go back to the start. But I'm Keith, and I'm hosting this little channel. And apologies, straight away I look at all these other channels that are doing this, and my God, they're all far better than I am, and they've probably got better gear, and they actually look better, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm just starting out, trying to find my feet, trying to see whether this is a potential way for me to just follow Manchester United. And all I want to do is try and get better at this. And I think it's going to take me a while, because these other guys I've mentioned before, Adam Matic, Terry Fleurs, obviously Mark Golders is probably the biggest one. Alice Talks Football, Kieran from Red Devil, Red Devil News. There's tons of these guys out there, and these are the bigger ones. There's some smaller ones too, I can imagine, that are absolutely doing brilliant as well. So if you guys want to stick with me and watch me kind of grow and see if I actually get any better than this, please come along for the journey. But okay, look, we'll look straight back into the news, and we'll look at where Manchester United are with everything. And as I said, AC Milan are potentially going to swoop in for Marcus Rashford. They want to take him on a loan. Do you think that's a good deal? Manchester United would have to probably pay half, I'd say, if not half the wages, maybe 3/4 of the wages, but it would be an opportunity for Rashford to go and play in Serie A, where I actually think maybe he could do quite well. Defenses are pretty tough out there, but I think he could maybe fit in, do a good job for AC Milan. But the problem is then, where do you go with that in the summer? Can you sell him on? Can you find a way to make some money out of this transfer with AC Milan? They tried to buy Xerxes in the summer from Bologna. United came in and United bought Xerxes. They paid more than the fee that you had to, the release clause, but and that was because so then they could pay it in installments, which suited United right down to the ground, absolutely fine. But if AC Milan can't do that deal, can they do a deal for Marcus Rashford? Do you think that's possible? Please get in the comments below. Just give me your thoughts and opinions on the whole Marcus Rashford situation. I'd love to hear from you. And do you think this is a deal that could potentially happen? And this deal, this was coming from Jack McEachin, I believe, from the Daily Express. It's Jack's story that we're kind of following at the minute. And Jack has a quite small following on Twitter from what I can see. So it'll be interesting to see. Sometimes smaller accounts get these little gems and they fly. So it'll be interesting to just kind of watch this one as we go through everything. Okay, guys, we'll kind of move on to the next one. And Victor Osimen, it's said that he is still, this is still rumbling along, is reportedly that he is going to leave Galatasaray at the end of January. Now, be interesting to see whether that is the case, because, he is a very good striker. But is he the striker, as I said before, that Ruben Amorim wants? Does he want Gyökeres from Sporting? Who is it? Which one? You tell me, guys, which striker do you think you'd prefer from these two players? Let me know why in the comments below, and I'll chip in. Right now I'd take either. I think we need someone. I think someone needs to help Højlund. We also, if Xerxes was to go, it's imperative that we actually bring in someone, and potentially Rashford. Like, how we cope. We can sell players, which is great, but how are we actually going to cope when we don't have the players to fill the bench? We're potentially relying on more young players, which I know the youth team is pretty good, but Are they really going to help supplement us right now in our hour of need? Maybe they are. Maybe they can step up and take their chances. But I'd still like United to bring in a player or two in this January transfer window just to help us, push our way up the league and start making headway there. But so as I said, that news was coming out of a Nigerian outlet called Business Day. They're the ones who are talking that preliminary talks are underway with Osimen and his team, and he wants to come to Old Trafford. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how that one comes along. Now there's another story coming out about a midfielder called Enzo Millot, and he plays for Stuttgart. He plays as a number 8, gets forward, gets back, can do quite a bit, on both ends of the spectrum, knows how to defend, knows how to attack. Is he another person who we could get in the midfield to play alongside Ugarte, someone who can get up and down? Maybe you have 2 midfielders, one holding and one who's able to go forward and back and be able to do both duties. Now I've kind of looked at his stats a little bit for Stuttgart. He's played 15 games, he scored 4 goals and he's got 2 assists. So it's not a bad return for a number 8 who's played 15 games. And he's also scored 2 goals. So that's in the Bundesliga, and he's in the UEFA in the Champions League. He has scored a couple of goals. He scored 2 goals in 6 games, which is a pretty good return for a midfielder. And he also has 3 assists. So he played in France's under-23 team that won the silver medal in the Olympics just past there. So in the Summer Olympics 2024. So there's potential here, and we know that French players, a lot of them can tend to do pretty well in the Premier League. So I think this is one to keep an eye on. We'll just have to see if it goes anywhere. Stuttgart are doing really well, so we'll just have to think if we'll have to keep an eye on this and see what happens. And finally, Juventus are weighing up a move for Tyrell Malacia. As I said before, I think Malacia is a good player. In his first season, he actually did pretty well for us before he got injured. I know he had some good games and some bad games, but I think the kid had potential. We bought him for, I think it was £12 million in the end. So we didn't spend an awful lot of money on him. He's been so unfortunate with the knee injuries. Well, not injuries, but the operation that didn't go successfully well. Juventus won him. Do we think that Juventus will kind of press on with this? Because we know that they are looking for someone on the left side for themselves. And this could give Malacia an escape route from Manchester United to play again at a very high level at a team that's, I know they're in the kind of top 8 of Serie A at the minute. Just had a look at that table. And so obviously Juventus are well off the pace. They Inter Milan, Atalanta, and there's another team up there with them. I can't remember who the third team was, but there's 3 teams up there that are all Napoli are all vying for that top spot. There's a couple of points between them. So I think Juventus are well off it. I think Malacia going there could be potentially good for us. We might even be able to make maybe some money back on him, even if we make 12 million, 13 million on him. I think the way it works is with depreciation in a player, we'll actually maybe make a little bit of money of him, but maybe we'll only get 5-6 million and we'll break even. So I don't know if that money can go back into the team, but hopefully it can. So, and it would be, as I said, a way out for Malacia, and a chance to get his career back on track, where I don't think it's going to happen at United because it doesn't quite fit Amorim's system. He's kind of defensively good, but he doesn't maybe work in the back 3. We need a winger who can get up and down and put crosses in and create. And I don't think he's he's not a creator at the minute. Maybe he could be in the future because he's still relatively young. He's not in his early to mid 20s. So kid has an opportunity to push on and do a bit better. And maybe that will be at Juventus. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for watching my previous videos. I really, really appreciate it. As I said, I totally understand that everyone else is out there doing this and they're all doing it better than I am. And I'm just going to try and jump in on this journey and see where it goes, see where it takes me. Maybe I'll end up diversifying. Maybe I'll end up changing tactic a little bit further down the line if I don't feel there's a market for this to grow, because as one of my subscribers has always pointed out, it's a very saturated market and everybody loves to talk about Manchester United. So I will just have to see how this kind of moves along. But guys, thank you very much for listening to me. Please give us a like, subscribe if you can, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, take it easy, guys.